with my drink. And I'm like, I go down. Yes.
I'm happy we spent the whole day. I'm happy we spent the whole day.
It was a good day.
I talked to Bruno.
Okay, good. I feel like
It was a lot better.
I feel like it's a lot better, and I honestly feel like I forgot what a good friend you were.
So, I was, you were talking Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
So he was like, is she good?
Yeah.
Are we like done or what?
Oh, no,
I was like, no, I think it's just like I talked to her.
Yeah.
She wants to talk to you. She asked me, like, what's the best way to approach you?
Thanks a lot, Cindy.
And then,
Oh my God, you're so good.
and then he was like, well, like, I don't understand why she was like I told her, I was like, she did like tell me that it is best that I just vote Dylan to stay like with you guys. Then he's like, well, if that was what she wanted, then why was she so against it yesterday? And I'm
It
like,
wasn't that I was against it. It was how they went about it.
yes, that's what I said. I said it wasn't that the fact that it was Emily or Dylan. Emily. It was like the fact that you guys, you've run alliance together, and I agree with her. Why did you have to say I don't know? Right? Even if you didn't know, you could have just talked out your options, right? And I was like, I think we have what we have is great. I think we're just really bad at communicating with each other.
Yeah, you're right.
And like you were weird with her that day, and I'm not disagreeing with her like you were. And he's like, well, she gave me the cold shoulder, and I'm the type of person, if someone gives me a cold shoulder, I'm not gonna chase after you. I'm like, fine, if you give me the cold shoulder, I'll give you the cold shoulder, and I move on. So I'm like, I get it, but like that's the thing. It's like Dimitri and I hung out with her. We know how she's like, so we understand. Like if she is upset, we either talk to her or we give her a day. But because you don't spend time with her, that's what happens. Now you both have mistrust for each other because of one cold shoulder, and it was like, fine, if you're gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it, and then blah, blah, blah. So I did tell him that I was like, she is gonna talk to Dre, and because the last thing we talked about in the pool was maybe we can make this a unanimous vote.
Yeah.
He's like, did we did? I was like, yes. And I was like, so she's gonna talk to Dre and like think of it in a sense of like give her a warning that the reason why she saw us talking was we were telling you that it's gonna happen, and to either let you know to do that, to tell Dre or whatever. And he's like, well, that's gonna cause like mistrust with me and her. And I was like, what's gonna happen no matter what?
Dre?
Yeah.
Dre already doesn't trust her.
I was like, either way, if we didn't tell them or we do tell them, she's not gonna trust you.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, how are they going to make that? I was like, I don't know. I was like, talk to Ika. I was like, they might talk to Dylan and see what's going on. But like, so he tells me that Dylan wants to stay, but he doesn't want Emily to know.
I won't say anything to Emily.
So their concern is if Dre then votes unanimously and then tells her, by the way, you're going home, then Dylan's gonna be pissed because he didn't want to sound like he was campaigning against Emily.
but Dylan told me, Dre, and Kay. I think Dylan is like telling you guys one thing, telling us one thing. Because he told me, sorry to interrupt you, he told me, Karen, and Dre that he wants to stay, but he doesn't want to campaign against her, but we should vote for him.
Yeah.
That's what he told us.
So
yesterday in the bathroom, last night in the bathroom.
So then I was just saying to him, I was like, if you're concerned about how Ika is going to approach it with Dre, go talk to her and come up with a game plan. Because he's worried that if Dre comes to Dylan and goes, okay, we want to save you, but we want to like make a deal or like whatever, then he's worried that Dre is going to throw him under the bus. And I was like, I was just like, I'm like, either way, like.
But she didn't say that when he did that.
Yeah,
it was a conversation with Emily type thing. But Dylan already spoke to us last night.
Yeah, so I just
said that.
So I just told him, I was like, Ika didn't try to convince me to do anything. She just like gave me her support, that she understands that if I wanted to vote and keep Emily, to keep Dylan, she understands. That's what she wants anyways, because she doesn't care. But she just didn't like how you guys approach a situation. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and then he was like, oh, I was like, that's it. I was like, if you just told her honestly how you felt, whether it's a maybe, like, and actually talk to her, I think that would have been a different situation.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, because she had no issue with you. The last 31 days, it was
I
nothing.
literally had none.
It was nothing. And it was all of a sudden you just did that. So I don't know if you heard anything. I don't know if someone told you something. He was like, no, she just gave me the cold shoulder that day, so I just gave it back to her.
didn't. Like, honestly, that day,
it was so awkward.
I just remember, like, talking to Emily. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
The conversation with Emily.
Yeah.
And then he just, I would go up to talk to him and he'd leave. I would be like, you know, what's going on? He'd leave.
And then
So
he said, well,
like,
I tried to talk to her the next day, and all she did was, okay.
Because you weren't being honest.
And that's what I said. I was like, well, now that you guys know, I was like, talk to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, find time. Today has been a good chill day. Like, we all talked Game of Thrones, and that was a lot of fun. So I was just telling her, I'm like telling him, I'm like, just talk to her. Like, she's not against the sex.
Yeah.
Like, we understand our priority. Like, it
Yeah.
was just, I think everyone's just frustrated how that people couldn't voice their opinion.
Yeah.
Without either anybody
Yeah.
doing it, right? If you voice your opinion, Neda got aggressive.
Yeah.
Neda voiced her opinion, you got aggressive. Bruno voiced his opinion, everyone's like, wow. You know, like, it's just, you know, so I just told her, I was like, she's like, there's no split. And I'm like, and there shouldn't be a split. So I'm like, if you guys can please talk.
So is there a split? There's no split.
There's no split.
In his mind.
No.
But like, I think he's with Neda right now, and I just don't trust her.
I know, but either way, like, I'm pushing him to trust you, to say that there's nothing, you're like, because he was like, did she go off and go, oh, I'm done, I'm not. I'm like, no, she didn't.
Yeah.
She just said that she's just upset that you lied to her, and you did.
Yeah.
Or you didn't, or you withheld information. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Either way, because like, even though I didn't know how I would, I still told her, this is my thought process. And she gave me, her opinion.
Yeah.
She didn't say, oh, no, don't do this or do that. She just said, well, if you do it, this is what's going to happen. But I understand.
Yeah.
That's all she said to me. And he goes, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a feeling that Neda is the one that told him.
I know, and I don't do that. And I honestly don't do that to
like,
you.
the only time you ever told me to be like, you have to vote this way, trust me.
Was with Dimitri.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's it. And I trusted your gut instinct because I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm telling him, I was like, I'm like, just talk to them. I'm like, everything is good. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
I just, like, you guys just need to talk more. I'm like, you need to talk to Dimitri more. Like, I need to talk to Dimitri more. And he goes, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't talk to Dimitri as much, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to talk to everyone more because there's no doubt to why they're feeling out of place. And I'm feeling out of place is because we're all not talking to each other.
Yeah.
And it's everyone's fault.
No, for sure. For sure. Because I mean, it's week 5, going on week 6, and we have not touched the block, not one of us. You know?
Exactly. And we've been in control of HOH almost every week.
Yeah.
And
I just don't see why there should be mistrust type thing. But I honestly do feel like it comes from, like today, Neda was not around, and I had the most...
Jackie the entire day.
I had the most amazing day.
I had so much fun
And then
today.
when she came downstairs, she sat over there, and I'm like, this girl is literally allergic to fun. Like, she's allergic to fun, right? And then when it was just a fun day for me.
It was, yeah.
And I feel, and Dimitri said the exact same thing too. He was like, the best conversation we've ever had as a group was when she was not present.
Like, even when we had that discussion there.
And he said the same thing.
It did get heated, but we
were
talked.
able to talk. And I feel like when we left, nobody was like, I feel like if she had been there, it would have been like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like because he is hanging out with her, I don't know if she's saying things or telling him what she thinks I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm not like that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
know you're not. And that's the thing. It's like, even yesterday when she was talking, the way she said it, the way it was like, well, when you voice your opinion, you get yelled at. But that's the thing. That's not stating what you want to say. Like, if she said, Ika, like, I felt that when I did my voice my opinion, I felt that you were very aggressive and that you were attacking me.
Yeah.
And then you could have been like, well, I didn't attack you, so I don't understand why you feel that way.
Yeah.
But instead, she just didn't really look at you. She like
I just
was looking
and
ahead.
that's
She was
why I just ignored it, and then that's why I continued talking to Bruno because I remember that conversation sitting there, and that's why I asked you because sometimes I'm like, did I yell at her? Because
No,
maybe I
you
did,
didn't.
and maybe I didn't.
But
I
then
know that
but she came with a hot tub later, and she was like, oh, like freaking Ika. I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, she just yelled at me in front of people.
No,
and asked me what my effing problem was.
I never said that.
Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so she made it sound like you got mad at her after the conversation, not at the table. Because you said the reason of you yelling at her was because of her attitude.
Yeah. So
she thinks that attitude was the attitude at the table. That's what she thinks why you yelled at her.
No, I'll tell you exactly what happened because I have no reason to lie.
Yeah.
She was coming down the stairs. I was sitting downstairs alone at the time. And I'm like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I feel like whenever I have something to say and I voice my opinion, I can't because you get mad at me. And I'm like, how did I get mad at you?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And she's like, well, I feel like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I feel the exact same way about you. If you don't get your way, you get upset, type of thing. And then she was
You
like,
just have this conversation?
no. I was just explaining to her because Neda said I went there and I was like, what's your fucking problem? And yelled at her in front of a bunch of people.
When was this?
Yesterday, downstairs.
Remember when you told me
he
that
was
you
the
were
only person that was there.
Yeah.
He came halfway through.
And then she said, and she goes, and on top of that, Emily was walking by, and Ika yelled at, well, you want to keep Dylan, and I want to keep Emily in front of Emily. That's what she said, and that's what she told me.
He was the only person who was there, and he came halfway in the conversation.
Because she said that story to me and Bruno. So Bruno was like, why would Ika raise her voice when she saw Emily and do that?
That wasn't true.
Right? So
Yeah,
then
that's not true.
so that's why when Bruno came up to me and he asked me about that, and I was like, I can't see
She
her.
said I was like, what
So
the
she
fuck
straight
is...
up
She said I
making-
was like, what the fuck is your problem? And started yelling at her in front of people. I'm like, first of all, there's no one there, and
There was
he
no one there.
came
I came
halfway
halfway
in the
through.
conversation, and he was the only one
And there was
standing there.
no Emily.
Yeah. No, but that's what she said.
So she's like straight up making up lies.
Yeah, because she came into the hot tub and she came in. She was just like, I'm so freaking Ika. I was like, okay, what's wrong? She's like, Ika just yelled at me, like in front of people, asking me what my effing problem is.
Did I say? I did not say
then,
what's your
and then
effing
I
problem.
said that, well, when you voice your opinion, you get yelled at. And she said, well, if you look in the freaking mirror, you would see what the problem is. And then Emily walks by and she raises her voice and goes, well, you want to keep Dylan
No.
and I want to keep Emily.
I never said that.
And
I didn't even look up there. I was looking directly at her because
And
my back was
Emily was
turned.
nowhere around.
But that's the thing. That was what was said in front of Bruno with me. And that's when we were like, why would...
I can tell you exactly what happened.
I know. I believe you.
I have
like-
really... Like
So-
she
But
came...
anyways, I talked to Bruno. I told him, because he asked me, is everything okay? Like, I was like, everything is great. I was like, there's no, like, they're not being like, oh, we're done with the sex or anything like that. I was like, just talk to her. And I was like, they told me that they support, like, us, like, keeping Dylan. It's just the issue is the fact that you guys just didn't tell her the truth. You just, like, when she asked you how you're voting, you just said, I don't know. And that was the issue. It's like, not...
Well, and then we
being
felt like we were
open.
out of the loop. and we were
Exactly,
gonna get
right?
fucked over.
Even if you didn't agree, like I'm like, you could have just talked to them and just said, and then you just like how like we had a conversation. You still voice your opinion, I voice mine, but then you know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, if you don't do this, this is an ultimatum. We're done.
Right.
No one's giving each other an ultimatum, so why are we treating it like it is?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so he's good. Like he was just like, okay, like I'll
Well, I don't want him to think I spoke to her that way because I really didn't.
no, but I don't think he like cared afterwards because then we had that like pool meeting and like blah blah blah. I think he just concerned of being like are they just leaving the sex? Like that's what he's.
Well, they were treating us like we weren't
I
in
know,
it,
right? So like, and that's what I told them, right? I'm just like, we can't blindside them. We just have to talk to them. We just have to communicate. Like, we do have such a great alliance.
Well, and we've gotten this far already
I
with
know.
none of us getting knocked off.
And she literally just said that. And the thing is,
It's going to get even stronger.
the worst
if I let it
thing
go.
is we're just bad at communicating with each other, and it's because we're hanging out with the opposite sides because we have to for the sake of the alliance. But then it's like if you don't hang out with Ika, you don't know how to react. If you don't hang out with Bruno, you wouldn't know, because he said that he felt that he got the cold shoulder from Ika, and that's why he gave her the cold shoulder back.
But
because he's the type of person where he wouldn't chase after someone if someone's upset. If
But
you don't
I
want to talk
didn't
to
give him
someone,
anything. I tried going around and asking what was going on, and he would leave whenever I would say anything.
Well, but it doesn't help that Neda's throwing us under the bus, making up
With our own lies.
bullshit lies.
I never said that. She was walking down the stairs, and I was just like, I'm like, what?
Like,
I'm like, what
that's
is the matter?
That's where the
And she-
distrust comes
And she
from.
was like, well, I feel like I can't voice my opinion without you getting angry at me. And I said, well, when you don't get your way, then you get upset.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. And she was like, well, I feel the same way. I'm like, well, I pretty much feel the same way as well.
Yeah.
And then she was like going on about how I got upset. And I did sit in the mirror thing. I'm like, well, when you talk to people, how about you look in the mirror and look at your face and see what you look like. So you could maybe that will help you understand like why people take it so.
And that was right when I came in.
That was right when he came down. Like so, like before you came, it was legit like not even anything, and then you came down,
and,
that's when it kind of got a little bit heated.
Yeah.
And then she was going on, and she's like, relax and don't blah blah blah, like whatever the hell she was saying. And I think when I yelled, I was like, enjoy your hot tub.
Okay.
Or enjoy the hot tub.
Yeah, she did say you said that, but then she added the information
at
about
the
how Emily walked by and you shouted that out.
When my back was literally like this, talking to her the whole time.
Yeah.
So at no point was I sitting like this and she was behind me talking.
Yeah.
She was right by like the doors where you open, and I was like this.
Facing
and
the
Dimitri
backyard.
came down and he was standing at the side.
I don't even remember seeing him.
But that's
No, she wasn't there. She lied.
Anyways, I feel
Yeah.
I never
That's, like,
once
and the
swore.
thing is, like,
Fucking, like, I don't know. I don't
it's
fucking feel
frustrating.
buzz about anyone.
It's
like that.
frustrating because like Bruno was on the same track how we felt about Neda, where he said that, right? He saw.
And now I feel like he's.
But I feel that it's
believing
because
her.
of this week, because of like you did talk to Emily, and then he thought that you shouted that out in front of Emily.
That never happened.
Or whatever, right? So I feel like if you just went back to just talking to him again, he'll just realize that like it was just like, you know how weird is it? You don't hang out with someone for one day and people like freak out.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. So, like, you're getting shit on because you hung out with Emily. He hangs out with Emily. He hangs out with Dylan. And,
but they're technically like working together.
sure.
That makes
We
sense.
seen him talking to Dre.
For 2 hours, we
For
didn't.
2 hours, we
think
didn't say anything.
Honestly, we don't care.
Honestly, that is the same situation. Her talking to Emily is the same as Bruno's talking to Dre. And like, I can
He
honestly
was
say,
talking to her for like 2 hours.
I can honestly say that it didn't strike me as odd at all.
Me
Didn't even
either.
question
Yeah,
it.
I know.
I'm like, what?
Me either.
We're gonna like do this or that?
I think now that we've like expressed it and we talked about it and we realized the issue is one person kind of trying to break us apart in a sense. Like, let's just move forward in a sense. Like, I want you and
Can you
Bruno
just explain
to
to him that I never spoke to her like that?
I know,
and I never did
will,
that.
and I will talk to him later
And
today.
that was like a blatant lie.
Yeah,
It really is. I never swore at her.
no. So I'm just not sure. Like that you said out loud when Emily walked by. She said that you raised your voice a little bit so that Emily can hear you.
That's a
and
lie.
You said, well, you want to keep Dylan and I want to keep Emily.
Those words
I never said that.
So
all I said to her, she said that she didn't care about who left.
Yeah.
And I said, so if you don't care, then why are you so mad? And she goes, I'm not mad.
okay, well,
That's
she
what
didn't say that.
happened.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So like, I know that you're good with Kevin now, which is great because you can tell that he's really trying. And he really wants you guys to love him.
Yeah.
And he is trying. And like, I think Bruno's really good too. But I feel like there's just some like miscommunication.
I feel like anybody who hangs out with Neda all of a sudden starts turning on the alliance.
yes.
I hang out with her for a day and all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, should I
She
trust
was
this
mad at me.
person?
Yeah.
He hangs out with her and all of a sudden, and I think he's hanging out with her right now, with Jackie, in that bedroom. Like, I don't, because even you hanging out with her and she's like, is she telling you to do this? Is she telling you to do that?
Yeah,
and you're
she was
like,
like,
no, she's
no,
not,
not.
because she's assuming things about me, because
Yeah.
she's doing it. She's telling you how you should
because
go.
after we left that room, I was with Neda the entire day.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, did I go talk to you yet? Is she trying to convince you? And I'm like, I haven't talked to her all day today, like, since that lunch. But,
Gaming hard, hey.
yeah, well, she knows her immunity is up, so she's trying to,
Freaking out a little bit.
I think so. But the thing is,
Join the party.
Join us for the
but
past 5 weeks.
I just feel that, like, right now, like, we have something really good. Obviously, we have one person that is affecting the
But do you
alliance
think
more.
people realize that?
I think they do, but then they just need to be reminded.
Okay.
Because we were all in the kitchen when Bruno said
Yeah.
the same
And
thing. That we all agreed
the
on
only
about
time
Neda.
I yelled at her, I'm gonna tell
I was
you.
in the kitchen for that one.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you weren't there. The only time I yelled at her, I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you what
no.
happened.
No,
is when
someone brought up like Neda was being moody, and then we're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, oh, it was after that campfire thing. She didn't want to participate.
Yeah.
She didn't want to like. She was getting angry that she couldn't have a smoke,
Yeah.
and that she didn't want to talk about how
Yeah.
like she didn't want to participate in anything. And we're like, why are you like?
Yeah.
the only time I got angry at her was when she said, "I am telling people that I'm done with her," and I'm like, "Who did I say that?" I'm like, "Did Cindy tell you that? Because she's been telling me whatever." And she's like, "No, it wasn't Cindy." I'm like, "Then who said that?"
Yeah.
And then she was like, "I'm not gonna throw people under the bus." I'm like, "Well, you kind of just did."
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna say who said something, then don't
Yeah.
say it. That's at that point. That's when I got mad because I'm like, she's making me feel like people in this alliance is going around saying things to her like that. Well, if you're not going to say who said it, then don't
say it.
Say it, and then cause
you know
distrust.
that those words "I'm done with anyone" does not come out of my mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the last person to say that because
Right.
I want this to work so bad.
Like,
I
you
wouldn't be
know-
risking
yeah, like,
saying
you know what I
that. Like,
mean?
I got
Yeah.
pissed when Cassandra's like, "I'm done with the vets." And I'm
Yeah.
okay. Well, the moment you say I'm done,
You're done.
Then I'm done.
Yeah.
Then that's
yeah,
it.
exactly. So like when she said that, I was like, I know Kevin didn't say it, and then I know that you didn't say it. So now it's like, I know Bruno didn't say it, but she's making it seem like one of you guys said it. So then that's when I got a little bit pissed off at that point, to be quite honest with you.
No, and I don't blame you, and that's why I left you alone that day. Like,
yeah,
I knew that we'll eventually talk. I just wish we talked sooner.
No, I know.
That was my situation.
But that's the only time I would say, like, that I was getting, like, I got annoyed in that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, girl, bye.
Yeah, because she came and she told me, she was like, she thought it was you, Cindy, but like I told her it wasn't you. I'm like, because it wasn't me. And she's like, I know, but I'm just letting you know.
Why would I think it was you?
Exactly. So she was like, well, I'm just letting you know that she automatically thought it was you.
She really wants me out of this alliance, and like she's working overtime. Like, oh, she's getting paid for this. Are you guys paying her for this?
No,
because she's working hard.
I'm poor.
Whoever is out there, please hire Neda because she needs a fucking job.